Welcome to Battle Network Academy. In this video I'll be covering Dark Chips, Dark Soul, Chaos Unison, and the Karma system from Battle Network 5. Battle Network 5 handles Dark Chips a bit differently when compared to BN4. Instead of two random Dark Chips showing up whenever you're in the anxious or evil emotion state, they are actual chips that you can find throughout the game world and will have to deliberately put them into your folder to use. Using a Dark Chip will give you and your opponent a bug. The bug differs from chip to chip, and I'll go over that in a second. You're only able to have 3 Dark Chips in your folder at a time, and unlike Megas and Gigas, this limit cannot be boosted by the Navicust. Being in the anxious state does make it more likely for Dark Chips to show up in Battle Network 5. Dark Chips in BN5 still come with the HP reduction and the bug downside, but if the attack lands, it'll also give your opponent a less severe version of the bug that you get, and this all depends on the chip. Dark Thunder sends out a Dark Thunderball that will home in on your opponent. The ball will be out on the field for 730 frames, or just slightly over 12 seconds. This attack deals 200 elect damage when it hits and also paralyzes. Now, like most attacks, this is able to be dodged while in the invis state. However, if you have a barrier up, Dark Thunder will still deal damage to the barrier, even if you're in invis, so watch out if you're on the receiving end of one of these. Using this attack will give you a Cust HP bug, making your HP drain while you're in your Cust screen. It will also give your opponent a Cust HP bug. Dark Tornado hits 8 times, dealing 50 null damage per hit. This attack can be powered up by flinching. Normally, without taking any hits, this attack hits 2 panels in front of Mega Man. But after taking a hit that makes you flinch, the attack will expand, hitting a 1x2 area in front of Mega Man. Flinching again, it will expand once more, hitting 1 panel in front of Mega Man, and then spreading out 1x3. And then flinching one more time will make the attack cover a plus shape. Using this attack gives you a Cust damage bug, making you take 100 null damage every time the Cust screen opens. This attack will give your opponent a Cust damage bug as well, damaging them based on how many times they got hit by Dark Tornado, times 5. Dark Meteor will summon meteors directly targeting your opponent, dealing 100 fire damage per hit. 12 meteors will spawn if you haven't flinched, 14 meteors will spawn if you flinched once, and 16 meteors will spawn if you flinched twice. The meteors will track your opponent and will break each panel that they hit. Unfortunately, while this chip has the potential to do insane amounts of damage, the attack will send your opponent into the flashing status, so you'll only be able to get 1 or 2 hits out of it reliably. Because of this fact, however, a good chip to combo with Dark Meteor is Gundel Soul. Gundel Soul is able to remove the flashing status from your opponent, but Gundel Soul is a good chip, so if you're playing Dark Mega, you won't be able to use this combo at all. However, Chaos Unison is able to use this to great effect. Using this attack will give you a Cust HP bug. This will drop your HP while you're in your Cust screen, and it will also give your opponent a Cust HP bug when they're hit. Dark Circle is a time freeze attack that will have a cursor that will circle your opponent's side of the battlefield. Pressing the A button will stop the cursor's movement and will extend it 6 more panels, dealing 300 damage to the 7 panels that are being targeted. If you area grab your opponent, this attack can hit multiple times on one single panel. And if you're in neutral area, or if your opponent has taken some area from you, the middle panels will be completely safe for them. When using this attack, you get a custom damage bug, making you take 100 damage every time you enter the Cust screen. This attack will also give your opponent a Cust HP bug, making them take 50 damage every time they enter the Cust screen. Dark Recovery will heal you for 1000 HP. This will give you a heavy HP bug, making your health drop rapidly. I've found it best to save this chip until after you've entered your Dark Soul. It effectively gives you a second health bar. Do keep in mind, however, that it is a common play to bring anti-recovery in most Battle Network 5 PvP matches, for this very fact. Anti-recovery is able to delete you even when you're in your Dark Soul. Dark Sword hits a 2x3 area in front of Mega Man, dealing 400 null damage. Using this attack will give you a Buster Blank bug, which gives you the jamming effect from the Buster bug without having the chance of a misfire. This attack will also give your opponent a Buster Blank bug. Dark Drill hits 6 times, dealing 100 damage per hit. This attack will push your opponent back 1 space. If you're able to get a +1 area on your opponent, it can guarantee all 6 hits. Additionally, if you're able to push them back into the attack with the first hit, you'll get an extra hit out of it. Using this chip gives you and your opponent a poison step bug. Next we got Dark Invis. Using Dark Invis will activate Dark Soul for 480 frames, or 8 seconds. Using this is completely separate from the Berserk state when you reach 0 HP for the first time. A small note for when you're using this in Chaos Unison: if you use Dark Invis at the end of the turn and you enter your cuss screen, you lose the Dark Invis, as it is only active while you're in Chaos Unison. This only applies to Chaos Unison, however. If you use the Dark chip by itself, you can still enter the cuss screen and you'll be fine. Using this chip gives you Warp Step. Next up we got Dark Lance. Dark Lance hits your opponent's back row and deals 400 wood damage. Using this chip will give you a damage status bug. Whenever you are pushed or flinch, you'll become confused. This will also affect your opponent if they are hit by Dark Lance. Dark Plus will add 50 damage to the chip that comes after it. Unfortunately, this will erase any other boost chips that you have applied to that attack. Using this chip will give you Warp Step. Dark Wide shoots a wide shot down the battlefield, dealing 300 aqua damage. This attack also pierces enemies. Using this attack will give you a Buster Blank bug. This gives you the jamming effect of the Buster bug with no chance of the misfire happening. And if your opponent gets hit by this, they also get a Buster Blank bug. Dark Sonic places a Dark Trumpy on the field in front of you. Every 120 frames, or 2 seconds, it will play a tone that will paralyze all enemies on the field. This effect is blocked by Status Guard and barriers. Dark Trumpy will stay on the field for 1,200 frames, or 20 seconds. Using this chip will give you Warp Step. Alright, so Chaos Unison. Chaos Unison is an ability that Neutral and Light Mega have access to. When you Soul Unison using a Dark chip, you'll go into a Chaos Soul instead of the usual Soul Unison. Chaos Souls only last for 1 turn, and the duration can't be boosted by the Soul Plus Navicust part. While in Chaos Soul, you gain all the benefits and weaknesses that Soul provides, but in place of the Soul's charge shot, you get to use the Dark chip that you sacrificed. Performing a Dark charge requires proper timing. Once the charge is complete, you'll have to release the shot when the charge energy is purple. If you miss and release on green, you'll lose the Chaos Unison, and your Dark Soul will be released on your opponent's side of the field. Succeeding in a Chaos charge will perform the Dark chip attack. You can then charge again for another Dark chip attack. However, with each success, the window for the attack gets smaller and smaller. Along with being able to use Dark attacks without having to worry about losing karma or bugging yourself, successful hits with Chaos Unison attacks will also bug your opponent. All the benefits of Dark chips, none of the downsides. Moving on to Karma. Karma is a hidden stat that determines the state that Mega Man is in. Using Dark chips or entering Dark Soul will lower your Karma, and winning a battle without using Dark chips or your Dark Soul will raise your Karma. Mega Man has 4 different states depending on his Karma. His neutral state is 500 points. While having neutral Karma, you'll have access to good chips and Double Soul. Gaining 1000 Karma will put Mega Man into the light state. Light Mega is immune to the on-hit bugs that Dark chips apply. Using a Dark chip while in neutral Mega Man will drop your Karma to 480, putting you into the evil state. Evil state isn't too different from neutral. You'll still have access to Double Soul and the good chips, however, you can no longer gain bonuses from holy panels. Continuing to use Dark chips from this point, and dropping your Karma below 470 will put you into the Dark state. Dark Mega starts off each battle in the evil emotion state. Because of this, you lose access to Full Synchro, Rage, and Double Soul. You also can't use any of the good chips. This includes Standard and SP Navi chips. But in their place, you gain access to Evil chips, which will allow you to use DS Navi chips. Taking a hit from an attack that would have killed you will activate Dark Soul. While Dark Soul is active, Mega Man will be in a Berserk state, similar to Overbeast in Battle Network 6. During this time, Mega Man will be invulnerable and will randomly use chip attacks and program advances that you've used over the course of the game. The only thing that can delete you in this state is anti-recovery. So you really gotta pray that those 3 question marks in the corner is just like an anti-Navi, especially if you're holding that Dark recovery. Entering this state will also drop your Karma, just like using a Dark chip. The good and evil chip pools have changed a little bit since Battle Network 4. I'll go over those right now. So while you're in the evil, neutral, or light karma states, you will have access to the Gun Del Sol series, including Gun Del Sol EX, Barrier Standard, Barrier 100, Barrier 200, Bug Fix, Holy Panel, Sanctuary, Standard Navi Chips and SP Navi Chips, Justice 1, Meteor Knuckle, Holy Dream, Big Hook, and Otenko. And when you enter the Dark Karma state, you lose access to all of the good chips, but in their place, you gain access to Static, Maramasa, Anubis, Blackwing, DS Navi Chips, Bug Curse, and Bug Charge. Also, as a final side note, I do think it is worth mentioning that in Liberation missions, the Team Navis are unable to use Dark Chips. You know, I always really liked the concept of Dark Chips. It added an interesting aspect into the game. However, I don't think they implemented it correctly. I don't know exactly how it would work. Maybe just simply removing Chaos Unison as a whole would make Dark Chips a bit more special. I don't know. I feel like Dark Soul gets kind of overshadowed by Chaos Unison in 5. Because it is just all the upsides of Dark Chips with none of the downsides. All you gotta do is let go of the button when it's purple. And I think you can do it in PvP. It's a dick move in PvP, don't do it. But you can pause the game, like just spam the pause button, and you can just line up your chaos charges perfectly. Some might consider it cheating, but it's an option that's there. Thank you very much for watching, and I will catch you all in the next one.